You're 16 years old. Your father is dead. And your mother's a call girl. That's your world.
You gotta deal with that, audience. This is Mike Diamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
You are watching Homework, and today we're doing a special movie review.
That's right. We are going to do a review of Loni Anderson's 1984 film,
My Mother's
Secret Life. So this flick was recommended by Miss Honey, that we love so much, Jaymes Mansfield, and I believe James has something to say about it. James?
Hello, Mike Diamond and Miss Matinga Revlon. It's me, Jaymes Mansfield, making a very special intro just for you. Now, I heard you're actually reviewing my favorite TV movies, My Mother's Secret Life, starring Loni Anderson as a prostitute who inherits a daughter. And it also has in it that girl who dies in the beginning of Nightmare on Elm Street. I can't remember her name, but she's really annoying in it. Anyways, I'm sure you're all going to love it. And in celebration of this video, I actually wore a heinous wig just like Loni Anderson's in the movie. So enjoy My Mother's Secret Life. Homework.
Miss Jaymes Mansfield, whom we happen to love here on Homework.
Yes, rest in pieces, James. We miss you. This, as it turns out, is the third in our trilogy of TV movies about prostitutes.
Exactly. The first one being Unplanned.
Right, so it was Beverly Hills Madam.
With Faye Dunaway.
The Crack of Dawn. What's her face?
The Crack of Dawn.
Portrait of a Teen Runaway.
That's right, with Eve Plum.
And now, rounding out the trilogy, which for all we know will continue to go on and on.
Yes.
My Mother's Secret Life, starring Loni Anderson.
All California tales.
All California tales, indeed, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, on the recommendation of the late Jaymes Mansfield, one of the most iconic Midwestern drag queens,
Honey,
of the day, we decided to do My Mother's Secret Life, which could also be called, Yo, we need to talk about Loni.
Yo, what the fuck is up with Miss Loni?
Is Loni Anderson a cyborg? Does she have like an emotion chip that's been turned off?
Oh, that's so funny that you said that, because I was watching it and I actually wrote down robotic.
She's like a fembot.
Yeah, robotic towards it. As the film goes along, she gets a little bit more feeling, a little bit. Though? But you know what? Not a good actress.
Bitch, what is this film about?
Girl, Loni Anderson plays the supposed fiercest, most talented, most technically precise, hottest, fiercest, high-class call girl in San Francisco.
Well, good programming will do that to an android.
Yeah. Now, mind you, she's a little long in the tooth, even at this point.
Which they make note of.
Yeah.
So, listen, while she was making this movie, she was 39, but they keep calling her, the original.
The original.
Everything else is a copy. I think they basically call her a fucking fossil.
I think at one point she's like, honey, this is not Memorex, this is the real thing.
This is the original I told you about. Everybody else you've been playing around with is just a copy.
Nice meeting you.
Hello.
And this is Jack Camaris. He's up from Los Angeles.
Nice meeting you.
Got a lot to live up to.
I heard.
Think you can handle it?
It's a heavy responsibility, but with a little help from you, maybe I can.
She is not a copy. She is the real thing.
Honey.
But supposedly, they make a point of saying that she has specialties and certain things that other people won't do. And I was like, is she pulling shit dates?
Right.
What the fuck? What is her specialty?
Maybe she'll let you jizz on her circuit board.
Yeah, it's and you only see her with
cold.
She's so cold.
Yeah.
She's cold bacalao on a paper plate. Is she? I actually wrote.
Wait. Speaking of paper plates, what you holding there, girl?
My notes are on a paper plate, which I did cut the edges off because I was so ashamed.
I wish you had just kept the round edges. No shame in this game.
I did no shame in this game. It's all that was around. It was either use that or a roll of toilet paper.
Hello.
Priorities. So priorities.
Yeah.
So girl.
Yeah.
How would you encapsulate this classic television film?
I would put it in a trash fire and leave it there. So this 1984 TV movie gem is about Loni Anderson. She plays an over-the-hill prostitute. Her teenage daughter comes to see her because her dad died, and lots of angsty TV movie drama ensues.
Oh my God, angsty TV drama.
fake ass underbelly of the San Francisco hoe scene.
Of Russian Hill, San Francisco.
Yeah.
How's this over the hill bitch making all this money?
Well, because of her specialty act.
Well, she's got specialties.
Yeah, so get into it.
She's got special. Now, I want to say that the daughter is portrayed by Scream Queen Amanda Weiss, who had like a legit little career in the 70s. Just terrible here. Just bad. Doing like
But better than Loni.
Better than Loni.
But better than Loni.
But only by degrees. That now I will agree that she did become a better actress. Here she's doing a kind of a take on a young Sarah Jessica Parker.
She's giving me like a cracked out Christy McNichol.
But shades of Christy McNichol.
The mullet.
Less butch.
The mullet.
Yeah.
Also,
mullet.
is she like, is she 9 or is she 18?
She's 16.
Because your bitch, her mood,
Her
all over the
mood's
place.
swinging all over the place.
So she's living in Ohio, which, by the way, those southern accents in that scene, no bitch.
Oh, just quick little aside. Her father passes away, and then she
After
is
choking on a hot dog.
She's taken in by another family, but there's a brief little cameo by journeywoman actress Grace Zabriskie.
She's been in everything.
She's fucking been in everything.
You'll recognize her.
I just wanted to mention her. Love me some Grace Zabriskie.
Yes, she's in like Norma Ray. Girl, she's been in everything.
And she's a really fine
and
actress.
she's the best actress
in the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's the best thing.
Why couldn't she play Loni Anderson's part?
Honey, she could have played the daughter or Loni.
Right, exactly.
She's
exactly.
like that good.
She's really good.
Yeah. Her father
chokes on a hot dog
and passes away
at the county fair.
At the county fair. And going through his papers, she finds letters by Loni that she had never seen before or whatever. And she makes this fantasy in her mind that she's going to go find her mom.
Right.
And everything's going to be fabulous. Little does she know, her mom's a high-priced hooker in California.
So she takes the bus. She arrives in San Francisco, 1984.
And is immediately approached by your stock pimp.
Your stock, scary, black pimp.
That she pays nooch.
Right.
Good for her.
He's given the soft sell. And by the way...
It's a very soft sell.
Yeah, but he's like, you want something to eat? You need a job, baby?
You need a job, baby?
Yeah.
You need a warm bed tonight?
Because, it's
I'm
always...
just trying to help.
Oh, it's always a black man at the bus station trying to turn you out.
Honey, that's how I got to New York.
Hello, Matinga Secret Life. Hello.
Trust.
Prostitute.
And then, but she pays him nooch, and she goes to find her mother, Loni. And Loni is. Would you consider? Do you think Loni Anderson was beautiful? The whole time I'm like, is this woman beautiful?
Okay, so here's the thing about Loni Anderson.
Yeah.
I think if you're into a certain flavor of like very spray tanned, fembot, symmetrical features, lots of hairspray, helmet hair, then yes. I guess.
Yeah.
So she was
nice body.
I guess. So she was 39. Yes, for sure. She was 39 when they filmed this. She could be 60. Like I couldn't really tell.
There is a timeless
she's
quality.
Like shellacked.
Yeah, she's shellacked.
Yeah.
She's giving me she's in that vein of beauty that you would find like a Morgan Fairchild. It's all about the makeup for these chicks. Like they're really enhancing what they have.
Because even in the scenes where she's just waking up in the morning in bed, full face of paint.
Yeah,
waking up with the mug, girl. So, but Ms. Loni is a prostitute. She has her and her gal pal go on a double.
Yeah,
they do a double date
with a coked out music executive,
music producer who's kind of rough,
and actually kind of scary. But she plays him like a little kitty cat.
But she does note later he was on drugs.
Right. Yeah. But she does prove herself to be the pro.
Yeah, and they keep making a lot of points like, I want what I paid for. Yeah, I bought you for the night.
Yeah. Now, she also, I do want to say that Paul Sorvino plays like the stock, John, who loves her, happens to be filthy rich, who isn't married, who's kind of, who's an executive. Like, from the very beginning, oh, he's the one that's going to step in at the end and save her.
Yeah, or he's the one with like a micro penis and a fetish for diapers.
Oh, and that as well.
Yeah.
And that as well.
Yeah.
So she finds her daughter, Toby, on her doorstep, and she's like, young lady, it's time to go.
Right.
You sleep. And she's like, who are you? And she's like, I'm Ellen Black. And she's like, I'm what you left behind. And Lonnie goes, say what now?
Say what now?
Excuse me?
She's like, do you know a man named Michael Jensen? Now, Lonnie's probably slept with 15,000 guys.
Yeah.
But somehow remembers this.
And freezes for a full 15 seconds.
Or did she? Did her programming just short circuit?
She tilts.
Yeah.
Yeah, she tilts. And I want to say that this is TV melodrama at its very worst. Like, nobody is, emotionally speaking, reacting in the way you would or asking the proper questions.
The daughter, a little bit, though. She's thrown a lot of surprises. I mean,
she is.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. The guy that she thought was her dad who choked on the hot dog, that was not her dad.
Not him.
That was another trick. Because Miss Loni, as a younger hooker, first she was on the streets.
Then she got hooked on drugs.
She got hooked on drugs. And then a pimp put her in a house where she was doing many, many, many men a day. One of those men knocked her up.
Right.
She goes to Ohio or something and leaves the kid there. Boom, you got a movie.
You got a movie.
Yeah.
18 shake and bake. 18 years later, you got a movie.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I had issues, but I sat there. I watched the whole thing in one fell swoop. Yep. I laughed. It held me. I will say that the daughter in particular, who I will agree with you, is giving a better performance than Loni. Oh, I also want to say,
is Loni giving a performance?
Lonnie's giving the performance.
She knows she's giving her lines, of, but she's like, I think, reading them off of cue cards.
Yeah, yeah. Where's the depth, Loni? Where's the emotion?
I was just like, okay, is Loni Anderson doing a parody of bad acting, or is she just a bad actress?
I think she was a mediocre, not bad, but I think she was a mediocre actress.
Was she going for dead-eyed hooker?
No.
Because I am right now.
Because towards the end,
yeah.
Honey, because you were a dead-eyed hooker.
Trust, bitch. All three of my eyes were dead.
I will say, towards the end, Loni is giving a little bit more. I think Loni does the best with her natural gifts and also what's on the page. I will say the daughter does more, but the daughter, what's wrong with her? Like, one moment she's like, I
You're
love
a whore.
you. You're a whore. I don't want to be here. And then the next moment she's like, I'll hang out. I'll stay if you want me to stay.
You don't even want me here.
You don't even want me here.
Right.
Like from scene to scene.
But you know what though, bitch? I didn't ask you to come here.
No.
Take your trifling ass back on the bus.
I mean, and it's really every other scene. She's either judging her so harsh. Like, girl, who are you to judge?
Right, with that mullet.
You just show up out of nowhere.
Nowhere, literally.
I let you stay in my beautiful house on Russian Hill.
Girl, I got a guest room. I'll let you use my motherfucking stationary bike.
Yes.
Bitch.
And that fabulous wardrobe.
Hang on, let's get into wardrobe. Loni is rocking several different variations on lavender silk, I believe.
Yeah, serving you lots of
you gotta unbutton it like this.
But then giving you tons of cleavage.
You need instructions.
Yeah, and just
I don't know, girl.
Then she's
I
like,
don't know.
then of course she goes to she's a high-priced call girl. She's got a house on Russian Hill and 2 cars, and so like, why not put this? And the girl has a trust. She's been putting money in a trust, which supposedly has gotten huge. So now the girl shows up. Put her in a fucking apartment if you don't want her to find out that you're a whore.
Right. And like, don't be like, don't answer that phone, little teenager.
Don't answer the phone.
What I found ridiculous was when the daughter first comes to stay with her, okay, and I guess she's trying to ingratiate herself, and she makes breakfast for Loni. And she walks into the bedroom where Lonnie's waiting with a full face of paint.
Yeah.
And the daughter's like, I don't know what they eat for breakfast in California.
Yeah. Or even the day before, she's like, she says, no, the daughter shows up at the house and Loni is super uncomfortable. She doesn't know what this girl wants. She knows the girl's her daughter, and the girl's talking about, oh, I just wanted to come see you, but I'm going to go. And Lonnie's like, well, do you want a meal? And she's like, yeah, but I don't eat very much. Like, maybe just some cottage cheese and some orange juice. It's like, girl, bitch.
You better go to Whole Foods, Toby.
Yeah, honey, it is San Francisco, Toby.
Yeah.
Then so Loni feels bad. But it's clear that Loni does not want her.
I don't know how to love.
Because Loni doesn't know, because she's so damaged. You see, Loni.
I don't know how to love,
and that's why she's a robot.
Right.
She's an ageless robot and damaged.
But that would have been a great twist if at the end, she falls into the bay and explodes because she was actually a robot.
And then right at the very beginning, she goes to hook up with Paul Sorvino, and it's clear that this is the one guy that treats her with respect, that cares about her. He is a widower. He's interested in her life, not just her body. And like, he's kind of, after 3 years, finally trying to say, hey, let's take this further. And she's like, no, I'm an empty shell. I'm not worth being loved.
And he's like, we're not talking about your acting.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Honey, and she finds out that her mom is a lesbian, and then that's
Not a lesbian.
a lesbian hooker.
If she's getting the coins,
Would have been fierce.
But talk about my mother's secret wife, girl. But,
Yes, that her mother's a prostitute.
but before we go there. So they do make an attempt at a normal life, and
Yes.
the daughter has like 6 friends over.
They finally come to an accord. Lonnie's kind of getting into it now, even though she doesn't know how to be a mom. The daughter goes to school.
I don't know how to love.
Somehow, like, the daughter gets enrolled in school this quick, makes friends this quick.
Right.
By the way, how did you get into this school? Where's your paperwork?
Yeah.
How do you do?
Yeah,
you don't
Toby.
you don't just fucking walk into a school and say, I'm gonna go to school here.
Well, Loni was probably banging the principal, and she's like, listen, Hal, I got this little bitch on my hands. Can you just get her in the school to get her out of my hair?
And this emotionally unstable girl suddenly makes tons of friends and has a slumber party.
Right.
Like she's been in school for 3 days. Like, for the first 3 months, people are like, who is this bitch?
Because she probably walked into school like, hey, my mom's a whore. Who wants
My
to come
mom's a
party?
whore. And so am I.
Yeah, bring your nightgowns. My mom's making popcorn.
And I don't mean with actual corn.
No.
Yeah. My mom's serving popcorn. They're being crazy. They're dropping shit on her sofa.
Also, they're wearing pajamas and like nightgowns. Teenagers don't do that at a what?
Yeah, not even in 1980.
And there's Loni in the kitchen making popcorn
with a little. Now she's wearing
with
like an apron and a frilly like little thing, and she's going. Now her hair's up,
right?
In a little chignon because she's being a mom.
She still books that date though.
Oh, wouldn't you?
Hell yeah,
honey.
Like,
a girl's got to eat.
Punks out my house. I have to go to work.
But she kind of realizes in the party, wow, I'm not ready for this. Right. So she has a breakdown and goes to see Paul Sorvino. She treats him really bad, and he finally yells at her. He's like, you make it hard to love you. Either love this girl or push her away. Right. But like, it's either or. and either love me or push me away. So what does she do? She struts down into the lobby and picks up a construction worker.
Right.
Why? Because she's not worth anything. She's not lovable. So let me pick up.
Was that a pay date?
Yes.
Or was she just going to do him in a broom closet?
No, it was a pay date.
He wasn't
bad. But it's such hammy telegraphed writing. It's like, I'm worthless, so let me pick up this blue collar guy and fuck him, in a storage closet
and
or something.
Take that safety cone up my vajayjay.
Exactly. And she did. She did it to get the movie.
My mama's secret hole, bitch.
Trust. My mama's huge hole.
Don't answer that phone, little teenager.
Don't answer the phone.
So from being really judgy about prostitution, in the blink of an eye, she's like, you know what? I'm going to turn a trick.
But I did understand at least.
What kind of party?
What kind of party? And then she puts on Lonnie's beautiful dress. By the way, she's 16, supposedly, in the film. She ends up looking kind of gorgeous in that dress. But it's all the dress. So then she comes back. She's bad. She's mean to the girl. The girl runs away. And for a day, she has enough money to stay in a hotel. Then she gets mugged.
In the Tenderloin?
In the Tenderloin.
And those two girls that mug her, I would have fucked them up.
Yeah, and they mug her in such a genteel way.
And she just leans against the wall and cries.
No.
I would have grabbed that bitch by her bad 80s hairdo and given her a whoop ass.
Yeah, it would not. Honey,
No.
honey, I would have rolled them down those hills. So anyway, now she's in the rain in front of some store, and this very same pimp from the beginning just shows up all ominous, picks up her bag.
I think that was his name. Ominous.
Yeah. Hominous.
Yeah.
And and he's like, oh, la la la, and she goes with him, and he's gonna trick her out and blah 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 blah.
Girl, get her done up.
And so now Loni suddenly realizes, I fucked up. This is my daughter. I need to write this somehow. And she's looking everywhere for her daughter, all over the Tenderloin.
But looking like a grade B cop in a knockoff of Heart to Heart.
Yeah. Well, remember that show that Loni did with Linda Carter back in the 80s? It was called Partners in Crime.
No.
Giving you that.
Well,
and it was also in San Francisco, by the way.
Maybe they did between takes.
So Loni walks into a bar looking for an old friend. Yes, and speaks to a Muppet.
What is with the Muppet in the bar?
Who totally drinks something and is being all up in her business. The dude with the Muppet is not even. The Muppet is all into Loni
because they're trying to telegraph that the seedy underbelly of San Francisco, girl, they have puppets.
Yes, with a Muppet that looks like Madam.
What kind of bar was that?
What kind of bar was that?
Was that like a biker Muppet bar?
A biker Muppet bar.
Which, actually, now that I say it out loud, I would be into it. Yeah.
I would be into that.
Yeah.
But it was so odd.
Right.
And one of my favorite moments in that film, and she finds an old boyfriend, an old pimp, an old associate.
Who everyone's afraid of for some reason. I could not determine.
And he's not a pimp now, but you could tell he's a thug.
He was a pimp. And were they trying to say that he was the dad?
He was the dad. No, he was
the real dad. Okay,
he was the real dad, and
the biological dad.
And but clearly he's still part of the seedy underbelly of San Francisco.
That mustache.
And he says, "Listen, this is her. This is your daughter. I think she's tricking. I need to find her." And he's very sort of circumspect about it. But the moment she walks out of the bar, him and the Muppet take a look at the picture. And are like,
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
the daughter is holed up in some sleazy motel.
Sleazy motel.
And you know how you know it's sleazy?
Yeah.
This is a very coded message because suddenly she hears fighting in Spanish.
In Spanish in the
and
next
that
room.
must mean it's bad.
The guy actually
He's
says...
talking about beer, right?
No, and then at one point he says, "I'm going to punch you in the head" in Spanish. And even I was like, oh.
Can we do a translation of that scene?
We should.
Let's put like little captions
do
at
it.
the bottom.
Let's
so to
do it.
drown out the scary Spanish people, she puts on her adopted dad's radio.
Which she then has to pawn.
Right, 'cause she's
But anyway,
hungry.
The pimp shows up with some pretty clothes. You know, she's only 16. He sells her to this dude. And at first she's like, yo, she's like young and prime, 300.
Two bills, two bills.
Two bills. He's like, $40.
No, he said $30.
$30.
And ominous the pimp said 40 plus 20 for the room.
Plus $20. $60.
Oh my God.
$60.
For a virgin.
For a virgin. Honey, please.
No.
I sold my virginity for more and it was 1983.
Yeah, girl, and he's fucking sitting there eating popcorn out of a bag. Oh,
by the way, there was a theater that they're showing The Devil and Mrs. Jones and Deep
all-
Throat.
And there's an all-male
review.
cabaret.
And you hear the guy saying, all men.
Right.
All men. It's like,
Right.
oh, yeah.
San Francisco, where are the drag queens?
Yeah.
Where
Except
the
for
faggots?
Loni.
Oh, hello. Talk about puppets.
So she's wandering around. Michael Sartorius, who plays the dad, finds Loni, and he's like, I think she's been put on the street. She's at this hotel. Let's go. Now, mind you, like, he shows up out of nowhere. He's the real dad. He's in it for a few scenes, and he is gone. But what I did like about his character, first of all, his character did look genuinely tough, and even though you could tell he had wanted nothing to do with Loni and nothing to do with his daughter,
Would you?
Right. I wouldn't. But he wasn't going to let his daughter get tricked out and turned out
By
on
anybody
the
else.
streets. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Honey, he was like, I'm a cash in on that, honey. Homegrown. She busts in, and my first thought was they didn't lock the door.
Yeah.
They didn't lock the door. Also, she's looking like a shitty beat detective.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's going on here? What are you trying to pull?"
Right. And then the daughter's trying to hold on to the cash.
The daughter was trying to keep the cash.
She's like, give him back the money now.
But maybe she was afraid of the pimp because the pimp said, "You get that money before you do anything."
Right.
So who knows?
Right. And so Loni pulls them out. She gives the trick the money.
And as tricks go, he wasn't that bad looking. He was disgusting.
He
as
did
a
have
person.
an air of menace.
Meh.
He had a mehness.
He had a mehness.
A mehness. He did.
Yeah.
And then they end up back at the villa. You never see the real dad again. Nope. The real dad never meets the daughter.
You never see the pimp again.
You never see the pimp again. Suddenly,
you never see Miss Grace Zabriskie again.
Never see Grace, who clearly cared about the daughter.
Why didn't she keep her?
I don't know, but I had the feeling that she was a spinster.
What the fuck?
I did. I had the feeling she was giving me a spinster feeling.
All right.
And as TV melodramas go, they put a cute little bow on the end. Paul Sorvino shows up. He's the knight in shining armor. They're moving to another location. Miss Loni's clearly going to retire. I mean, supposedly at the beginning they say her money manager says, she has a trust, and he says, the trust is getting huge. Like, those are the trust is getting huge. She's like, okay. It's like, what are you still fucking prostituting but a huge trust?
Deep down, even though she didn't know how to love, she did know how to love.
At the end.
And she was taking care of what she left behind.
That's really how it goes.
Yeah.
Then the daughter looking out the window, looking slightly evil at the end.
She looked fucking psychotic.
Looking at
she
her.
did. She looked demonic.
I was like, she's gonna fuck Paul Sorvino.
If there was a sequel like My Mother's Secret Life 2, The Possession. My Daughter's Secret Life.
It could still happen.
Yeah. What I found really interesting was when the daughter is wandering around the Tenderloin, presumably.
Yes.
You know, maybe she's about to go on the stroll. She doesn't know what she's going to do. She wants to get something to eat. She eats a hot dog.
She does.
If my dad choked to death on a hot dog and I saw that, I don't think I could ever eat a hot dog again.
But the thing is, she eats a hot dog in front of like the roughest Mexican pimp.
Right.
Like with the hat and the feather and the whole, and he's staring at her, and I'm like, girl,
munching on this
like,
dog.
Is that not the right moment to be eating this hot dog, girl?
No, girl. And in general, don't eat hot dogs because God knows what's in them.
I love a good hot dog.
Oh, gross.
I do.
So I found that pretty interesting. But, you know, My Mother's Secret Life, is it worth watching? If you want to stumble down and watch that shitty copy on YouTube, we'll put the link in the description.
If you happen to love Loni Anderson and want to see one of her better films,
Yep.
I think it's worth it.
Absolutely.
I didn't.
It was a laugh.
It was a laugh.
Yeah. I'll never forgive Jaymes Mansfield for recommending this.
But actually, good suggestion from James.
Yeah, great suggestion. Do you know what though?
Worth a goofy, silly
Absolutely.
watch.
Just for Lonnie's bad performance, an overly made up face, an overly tweezed eyebrows, an overly sprayed fucking
just
helmet hair.
robotic acting style,
Bitch.
very dead eyes.
Girl, bring it to life, honey.
Yes, girl. And also, girl, like, you're like the hottest hooker in San Francisco.
Really?
You're like 50. What? Girl, I mean, really? You bought that house on Russian Hill?
Yeah,
Girl, it's time
girl.
honey, it is time to kick those legs up and give it up.
That geriatric snapping turtle, whatever.
Russ,
I mean,
girl.
good for you and no age shaming, but this is definitely part of that 70s, 80s thing where they're like, prostitution bad. You know what? Some sex workers are perfectly happy, well-adjusted individuals.
But I will say, it's a real soft, focused take on prostitution. Because if you
It's all lingerie and heels and strawberries and champagne.
Because Jan Brady, like hers is actually a little rougher.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
actually rougher.
I knew we were in for it because every scene that was supposed to be erotic, there was like saxophone playing. That's a very 80s way of saying, sexy.
And also, that it could be horrific because, like, the first trick, like, she like says
The cokehead guy.
The cokehead. No. The first trick was like in the hotel room, and then she's waiting on the balcony.
Yes.
And she had written the note, and he says to her, "I'm only going to pay you if you do exactly what's in the note." But they don't tell you what's in the note.
Right.
And he says, "Can you handle that?" And then she says something to him, but you don't hear what it is.
Yeah.
And he says something back, but you don't hear what it is.
Actually, you do hear what she says.
What does she say? Rosebud.
Y'all bitches just don't know.
Yeah. Answer.